So people came through and they said, "Yo, look, we're gonna put you in rehab." So you get ready to go to rehab, and you say, "No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop cold turkey." Did anybody believe that you could do it?
Nobody. It was the biggest. I think that was the biggest fight of all the years of me using drugs. That was the biggest fight. Was it's if you don't go to rehab, we're all gonna leave you. Like you must go.
So you didn't go. So what ended up happening?
I stayed. My mom actually drove me all the way to. It was in Palm Springs,
Okay.
and we was an exit away. And I told her, if you don't stop this car, I'm gonna just hop out. And I'm telling you, like I'm not gonna do it no more. And we sat in a parking lot a block away, and we fought and argued for hours, man, in this parking lot. And finally, my mom was just tired of arguing, and she said, "Okay, fine. If this is what you want to do, this what you're gonna do." And we went home, and from that point on, it was a mental battle, like serious mental battle. I did it without going to rehab, no counseling, no nothing. Just laying in that bed in that house with the worst. I think the worst I've ever gone through in my life as far as trying to fight the demons.
And did wifey was there with you, or she said, "No, I don't trust you. You can't come back yet."
It was too long of me doing it for her to believe me.
Right.
It took a while. It took a long while of believing. Very long time.
Like a year,
Nah.
2 years.
Years.
Oh wow,
Like
years.
I think years.
So y'all were broke up, or y'all were
No.
just like she just was always looking at you at the corner,
Yeah.
at the corner of her eye.
Yeah, she was just always looking at me like I couldn't sweat without
Oh, okay.
without an accusation.
Oh, okay.
Or like I couldn't get mad about something because it was due to that.
Right.
But she stuck with me, and she stuck with me through the whole thing. I've been with my wife going on 23 years.
Yeah. So how much of the 23 years was you a dickhead?
I think I still am.
Oh, okay.
A long time.
A long time.
A very long time.
So let's say 23 years, 10 years of it, you was out there doing whatever you was doing?
Nah, about 18.
Oh, wow. So you 18
18
years, and she smashed out with you through all that?
Actually, I take that back. We've been together 23 years. I've been done about 10 years. So, what was that? That'd be 13 years.
13 years?
13
Okay.
years of,
And did you steal, rob, and do all this stuff that drug addicts do?
yeah, I did a lot of terrible stuff, man. I was
Cheated on your wife, everything?
stealing from the family, cheating on the wife.
Wow.
Stealing from, the neighbors, people I didn't like.
Wow. You stole from the neighbors?
Yeah.
And did you help them try to find it? One of those type of cats?
Nah,
Or
I
you
just looked at them like, damn, I feel bad for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So everybody's looking at you like you're the notorious big or something like that. And at the end of the day, now you're not. Do they still remember that? Or they're like, dang, boy, you changed a lot.
People know I done changed a lot. And
Did you make amends for your wrongdoings? Because
I actually still do.
Oh, yeah?
I actually still apologize a lot. I apologize to my mom a lot. I apologize to my wife and my kids a lot for my wrongs. I feel that's why I probably work as hard as I do now because I feel I gotta give back more
For
than
the
what
years,
I took.
right.
Yeah.
So, but how much collateral damage was done?
I don't think I'll ever. When it comes to material things, that's different. But when it comes to
No, I'm talking about mental damage to the family.
yeah, I don't think I could ever.
Who was most affected outside of the wife? Beside the wife, who was most affected? Which kid was affected the most?
Both.
Not
My
the
wife-
baby.
Not my newborn. He was 2 now, not newborn, but my son and my daughter. So my 22-year-old and then my 20-year-old.
And how's the relationship with them right now?
I don't it's a work in progress, but I'm having to do the work. My son, we have a different relationship than me and my daughter. My daughter's taking a lot of work because I did do a lot of damage with the family and with her. So with her, this is a lot harder. She's a lot stronger minded and at the way she feels about things. So our relationship is not good, but I am constantly trying.
Right.
Even if I get nothing back, I still try. My son, my son's another. Me and him are really close, but now he's starting to, he's starting to get at that time of life where he's starting to fight his own demons. So it's hard to see him going through what he's going through right now. I do blame myself, but then I don't, because he's seen enough. As much negative as he saw, he's seen about the equal amount of positive. Because even when I was on drugs, I was still like a family man. Like it was weird. Like I still had that mentality of the right, even though, like, I guess contradictory, I could say. I was doing one thing, but I was telling him, don't do this.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good here, but then bad there.
Yeah.
But see, when people see bad, they see bad more than they see good.
Yeah.
And the bad sticks out better.
It's a trip, because I seen something the other day that, real quick, a teacher started her class, and she started with doing like the 9 times the multiplication chart.
Yeah.
And she purposely did one incorrectly. And when she was done, all the students was laughing at her and just making fun of her because of that mistake. And she said, that was why I did it, because I wanted to show you guys how it don't matter how much good I did on this test.
All you remember is my
are
bad.
My one thing out of these whole times tables, that one thing is what you guys stay stuck on.
Floh Presents.
We know what it is. We don't need no one trying to figure out what's over here, telling us how we should feel. You know I'm from the west side, and you know I'm down around with you. Look, ain't strong when you say come through. You already know that's the way I move. You know I'm from the west side.
So with daughter, how does it make you feel that she's like got you put to the left?
It's real painful because it's my daughter. But then again, I guess a part of the process of fixing myself was looking in the mirror and understanding that I have to respect what comes with what I gave.
Right.
So it's very painful, but then again, like I said, I keep working on it because it's a relationship. I messed up a relationship, and I can't just think that she gonna just give it right back to me because I want it.
Was you like whooping up at the kids when you were high and stuff, or
Nah.
yelling at them, or
I was just very
cussing them out?
Yeah, I was just very verbal. I never touched my kids like that. I was just very verbal. And
Verbal's almost worse than getting hit.
I think it is. I think it is worse.
Especially if you calling them all kind of B's and all kinds of stuff that you can say, them hoes, and they take that deep, you know what I'm saying?
Very
Especially
deep.
coming from dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm a street cat too, and I had to train myself not to, because when I get nutty, it takes a lot, but once I get nutty, who knows what I'm gonna do? And I had to calm myself down when dealing with my girls, because, I'll be like in street mode, like, oh, you need to be, I'll smack the fuck out of you, bitch, and you know what I'm saying, and get into that street mode shit, and that don't work with your kids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They be taking that like, ooh,
What's that?
dad is scary, you know what I'm saying? He don't love me, he thinks I'm one of the street people.
Supposed to be the protector, he's over
Yeah,
here.
and I'm over here acting like I'm getting ready to smash, which I probably was, but so I understand that anger dickhead part, you know what I'm saying? And you got to work on that every day, you know what I'm saying? But after, when it's years and years of that, you got to look at her side too, like, dang, I really screwed up. But maybe y'all can go to counseling or something together. Maybe you can offer that to her.
Yeah, we working on it. Like I said, she just recently got her own place and everything, so she done moved out. So I'm just like,
Well, how was it when y'all were living together?
It was the same thing. Just she wasn't happy. There was. See, the thing is also, I'm really firm with my kids as far as just growing up and doing what needs to be done in life. So in the mixture of that anger with the drugs and all that, and even coming out of it after in these last 10 years, it's just been getting my kids ready for the adult world. And they already had the anger from the drug dad. So now I'm coming as a straight dad, but I'm still talking my shit. But now it's on a different level. Now it's just geared towards like, you fucking up. Like, why you doing this? You got to do that.
And in the back of their mind is like, oh, you was out there smoking and cracking and whatnot. Now you think you're gonna tell me what to do?
Exactly.
You know, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? You just got yourself together. Yeah, I heard the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn if you do, damn if I don't. You know what I'm saying? But you set that bed up. But you set that bed up like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you can't pounce on them because it's like you're like it's two wrongs don't make a right. You know what I'm saying?
Floh Presents.
Clouds keep coming like a curse or a hex. This is life, wheelbarrow full of regrets. I do this for my fam. If you messing with that, you gon' make me give you a permanent mess. And you don't want that. This is not for the block. This is for my people trying to think out the box. This hook ain't for the streets. Get out the box.
One thing I notice about you is that you do call your wrongs and you call them loud. But what got you into social media where you put all your stuff out on the table?
So when I was younger, I mean, my pops was never around, and there's a long story behind it that I just barely found out a couple years ago. But basically, in my life, my father wasn't around. He was in prison, and he disappeared. There was multiple stories that just kind of floated around. And my mom put me in counseling real early in life. Like, I want to say elementary school, I was already going to counseling. And then I did that. And then once I went to junior high, it continued. I didn't have like a 5th and 6th period, and I would have counseling. And then I would have group counseling with like a bunch of other kids that was messed up. And I think that's what, when it came to social media, it allowed, because I've been asked that before and I kind of thought about it. And I really think that counseling and then group counseling, because counseling is different than like a group, because now you got to talk and tell your stuff in front of all these people that you really don't know. And, you know, when you being asked your deepest, darkest or whatever, and you got to say it in front of all these people, it took away that embarrassment of it, because now I get to hear your story, and damn, your story pretty wild also. Like, you feel me?
But see, in social media, you're really not hearing too many stories. You're hearing backlash. Like, people got some weird crap to say.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of this weird crap that you'll come. I mean, not that you're weird, but you say some stuff that's like very opinionated, and then other people will come with their opinions, and then you got the what you call those people that be just writing because they be writing? Trolls. The keyboard trolls.
Keyboard warriors and all that.
The keyboard warriors will come out and be saying some outlandish stuff, and then you got to come back at them like, yo, well, you know, if you want to, you know. So it's like...
It's my social media. Like, you feel me? Like,
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've also had to sit back because I, like you and other people have tapped in with me and told me, like, bruh, and it's my social media. Like, it's my opinion. If you don't like it, you could argue with me, but I'm gonna
get off my page.
Yeah,
block me.
I'm gonna keep arguing. Like, it's my page.
Right.
You feel me? When I go to your page and you say what you say, like, I don't agree, but then again, I don't comment.
Right.
So when you decide you want to comment and say something on my page,
right,
instead of like
now you're opening yourself up to say whatever I want to say, because
just like I did. I opened myself up by putting out what I did, which we know, like you said, they come out.
Right.
But again, like the thing with my kids, like, I put it out there, so when I get it back, I kind of have to step back and realize, like, well, you did say this, but it's still my opinion. It's still the way I feel. And a lot of everything that is because of life things that I've gone through. So when I'm usually arguing with somebody, it's like, how you going to argue with me about my life and what I'm going through? See, sometimes, like, I got one of my buddies, and we talk a lot, and he knows when I post certain things, a lot of the things, it's actually something that I probably just went through last night with my family or with somebody. So when I throw it out there, it's just out there. When people take it in, they don't know the backstory of it. They don't know why I'm making this comment or why I feel this way. So it's like me telling everybody the way I feel, but I really didn't tell y'all the whole story on, like, why this even came up. And that's why a lot of times I get misconstrued about what I'm saying, or what I'm actually trying to get to, because
Yeah.
I didn't tell you the whole thing.
Right. Well, everybody has their right to do what they want to on their own platform. Even right now, you're live, so now everybody, all your haters are watching, going, "Oh, so you was and then they'll throw that at you later on. You know, I bet you I'm gonna see a comment somewhere about what you talked about just a few minutes ago. But I give it to you, bro. You know
But
what I'm
I'm
saying?
very honest though. Like
Yeah.
I tell people,
I don't think people like honesty anymore.
no, people hate honesty.
No, they don't want honesty.
They want you to make them feel good, even if you lie the whole way through. And that's why I now have become this person on my social media, because to be honest with you, here we go. What I say, I'm like I said, I'm having something. My son's going through some things, and I realize it usually comes after something he's seen on social media or something that somebody said, and he comes to me like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "But that's the stupidest shit in the world." And that's what opened my eyes to. This screen is actually more powerful than what people really think.
Floh Presents.
Gonna be a hell of a night. Ooh, oh, yeah. I left all my stress on the west side. Posting for the pics, get my backside. Know I come alive in the nighttime. Sun is going down, it's the right time.
Remember when you first was going through the thing with your son right before your store closed, I hit you up and I was like, bro, let me pull your coat on something. You know what I'm saying? So, because I've been through that with the son thing, you know. A father and son, especially, I don't want to sound racist, but black families always got that extra crap we got to go through with our kids, you know what I'm saying? Especially if the pops was a street guy like I was, and I'm trying to protect them from not going that route.
Right.
But sometimes genetics is what they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you can talk till your face is blue in the face. You can do 50 meetings and you can be clean for 50 years, and they still gonna go that route if they want to go that route. Because
It's weird because I got my 2-year-old now, Kenzo, and he's never encountered anything that my other kids have encountered. But like when I sit with my wife and he does things, I'm telling my wife like, damn, he's gonna be the badass in the family. Like,
I saw that with my daughter.
like he's like they weren't bad. They just was like teenager
Right.
Like he's gonna be bad. Like we gonna have a problem with him. And you're right. It's like I feel it's genetics. Like you feel like it's just weird. Like
But
I see it.
But one thing you don't want to do is tell your son that he's going to be bad.
No,
or let
definitely.
them hear that too much, because they'll internalize that and be like, well, they think I'm going to be bad anyway, so let me just go all out. You got to try to give that fool like some positive reinstatement or some different stuff that's positive to keep him going the right way. Because the wrong way, like I keep my daughter in private school. If she was in public school, she would be the lead gangbanger, 100%. You know what I'm
feel that,
saying?
yeah.
So I ain't letting her go to public
We
school.
gotta make
you know?
certain moves.
Yeah, you got to make certain moves to make sure that you can detour them, because you could have been detoured too if your family had been on a different level. You see what I'm saying? So you find yourself getting better now. Now you're I saw on social media you're getting ready to get a house.
Yeah. Surprise.
And you got a bank account now, which is, you know, most drug addicts don't have bank account. And you know, regular cats
With money in it.
I know. Street cats don't recognize that's a power move, like having a bank account and all that stuff, having a driver's license, because we're so used to going to the check cash in, we're so used to driving with no L's, you know what I'm saying? We're so used to doing criminal crap that this normie life is really cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to stress. You can, okay, so we're in Beverly Hills right now. Now, you didn't have to, like, go down back alleys to get down here. You could drive straight through Beverly Hills, not worry about the police pulling you over. If they do, you got your paperwork right. And, you know, when you've been in the street life, you just got certain codes that you go by that are just, you know, you don't think that are, you think it's normal, but it's not.
Right.
So now living a normal life, you know, not doing drugs, having a bank account, got a job, wife is not tripping, you know what I'm saying, you get ready to get a house. Do you look at yourself and say, why did I waste so many years?
I did. But it's a part of the process. I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have maintained any.
And
of this.
how old are you now?
I'm 40.
Okay, so yeah, so you know, you still got hopefully, 20, 30, 40 years left, 50 max, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how much damage later on comes back to you,
Right.
But now you can see. Before you were blinded. Now you can
Definitely.
see. You're not gang banging no more. You're not repping the set. You're not going to prison anymore.
I was never gang banging, but I was just in the streets with the gang bangers, and you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but I never made that real move. I was associated, and I started rapping at one point, but all my friends was just like gang members, different gangs.
And where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Southgate,
Oh,
but
Southgate.
I went to school in Culver City.
Oh, okay.
So I went to private school in Southgate,
Okay.
and then I got expelled in 5th grade.
Why?
Some dude put a thumbtack on my chair.
Oh, okay.
And I got mad, and he was sitting in front of me. And when he went to sit down, I put a pencil, and he sat on the pencil, and the whole
Ooh.
thing broke in his butt cheek.
Oh, okay.
The problem that it really made was the little kid had leukemia.
Oh.
So the parents made obviously
Well, you know what? He didn't have leukemia when he put that tack in your seat. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta get.
I didn't know he had leukemia when I did that, but definitely, and in the private school, that you extra.
And then you also brown, so that didn't help it either.
Definitely. And
Because black people don't have leukemia. I don't think that's a white disease, right?
is it? I don't know.
I don't think black people have leukemia.
Oh, interesting.
You can correct me on internet if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. We got other stuff though. We got sugar and
Diabetes.
yeah, we got that kind of stuff.
So-
high blood pressure. Anyway, go ahead.
So then my mom sent me to she said, "All right, I'm gonna fix you," which was probably not the right thing. And she sent me to public school.
Okay.
And she sent me to Culver City, which if people hear Culver City, oh, it's Culver City, but like.
Now, Culver City, there's two parts of Culver City.
Yeah.
There's a good part where the white people are, and then there's the other part where the essays are.
And that's I went like over there by the
by the projects.
But everybody went to school there,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't matter.
Right.
And then we had all the kids like what I'm saying. We had like
And then you got shorelines over there and
Yeah,
all them. Everybody's all mixed.
we had overhills. We had man, the brims was out there. It was at that time when it was all the race wars at school.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't even like a colors thing, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like a personal thing between people in the bathroom. But at the end of the day, it was like everybody had to stick together because shit was gonna crack. You know what I'm saying? So it was different. So that's when like that gang banging thing in my man. When I went to public school, all my friends was gang banging. So I was like, okay, this is what I went from private school to this. Like, okay, this is what I gotta do to survive. Now I'm mixed too. So I was having issues.
Yeah, because what are you?
My mom's from Guatemala and my dad's black.
Okay. So which side did you fall on? Did you fall on
See-
the SA side or did you fall on the black side?
So that's the thing. What I was saying about my dad,
Uh-huh.
I was told my dad was a whole other race
Oh.
besides black.
Okay.
So I always hung on to my Hispanic side.
Okay.
So
Okay.
out here in Southgate, it was all Hispanic. And once I went to Culver City,
Uh-huh.
it was everything.
Uh-huh.
But all the black people was like, come on, let's go. And I was like, nah, but I'm over here. And then I was over here, and then I was having issues for being over here because of the color of my skin.
Right.
And I was just, that's when life got real confusing for me. And all that stuff.
Because you didn't know if you wanted chitlins or a burrito.
Man, I didn't know, but I didn't like chitlins either, so I was kind of good.
Floh Presents.
But what happened was one day I was getting jumped.
Uh-huh.
I got into a fight and I ended up getting jumped, and it was by essays. And I remember for some reason the fight just started getting easier, and I was wondering like, damn, I'm really doing my thing. And when I turned, I had a group of the black homies was helping me,
Oh, okay.
and that was the day that I was just like, all right, I feel more comfortable over here because I'm more accepted over here.
But when you went to jail or prison, did you go to prison or jail?
Nah, just jail a lot of times.
But in jails, and a lot of times you can't hang with the blacks in jail. So what side were you on when you were going to jail?
Crazy. I always was with the blacks.
Oh, really? They stuck you with the blacks?
Well, because when you go, like, when they arrest you, they just look at you and they write black.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember one time something had happened. I was in the county and it was like a big thing happening. So they started separating all the races.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm over here chilling and they like, you come this way, Bowers over here. And people was like, wait, where are you going? And I was like, well, I got to go over here to deputies. And they was like, no, you staying here because you black. And I'm like, but my thing, like, because it says Hispanic, like, you got to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
And that got me into problems because now it was like, they didn't look at that paperwork. They looked at that skin tone.
Right.
And I got an accent. So
Right.
it's obvious I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
100% of either.
Right.
But I always was with the blacks because I was always taken care of. And that always kept a thing in my head of like, because people always be like, you look like us, nigga, you black. And I'll be like, no, but I'm Hispanic.
Right.
But black people always was like, nah, you black, bro. I don't even care what you gotta say. Like, you are black. I'm telling you black. Until later on in life, a few years ago, I found out that my dad was actually black.
So how did that make you feel that your mama lied to you all those years about you being black and you actually half black? I mean, I'm not talking half black like the insurance. I'm saying that you're half black.
Yeah. That is a real painful thing because a lot of my problems in life
Was because you didn't know who you were?
was because I didn't know. And I tell my mom, like, I got my ribs broken in jail and stuff, like during riots, you know what I'm saying? And it was all race shit. And that was always lost in between that because I didn't know I was black yet. But I knew, like, this other culture didn't like me. And if this other culture didn't like me, that means there was something about me that they didn't accept. And that was my skin tone, which always told me in the back of my head, like, you gotta be black somewhere. Because I would question my mom. And she would tell me, like, oh, your grandma's real dark. Like, no, I'm black. She's dark Mexican. Like you could tell a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the family picture was like, everybody looked the same, and then boom, there was me. And it didn't matter who had what dad. Like,
And in prison politics, definitely there would have been, even if you would have been on the Mexican side or the SA side, they would have been putting you in the front line all the time because they would have said you ain't full Mexican or you ain't full Hispanic or you ain't full, you know what I'm saying?
and I had to go through that when I was in, I did a year in San Bernardino, and I had to go through that.
Yeah.
I would come home from work, 16 hours in the kitchen,
Uh-huh.
hey, there's somebody in the room, you got to handle that. And it was me proving that I was with the blacks all
Right.
the time, you feel me?
Right.
Or it was the Mexicans telling the blacks, like, yo, he got to run it with him, bro, because he should be with us.
Right.
You know, and I went, and that's a lot of that. When I found out, I told my mom, I was like, man, you don't know what you really did to me, like, with this. You know, to you, it was hiding a part of your past, but you didn't understand, like, with my kids, you didn't understand what it did with me, and where it made me go in life.
So, why do you think she was so ashamed of that?
I don't know. She likes to tell a lot of people about her hippie lifestyle of traveling and Woodstock and men and this and that, you know. And I just feel, you know, women doesn't want to admit
That she's out there throwing it out.
her lifestyle, you
Right,
know.
okay.
And I knew my mom always liked black dudes, always. Like my little sister, she's my we're half same mom, different dad, but her dad's black. But growing up, I remember there was always black dudes around, and I never put it together, obviously, until I got older. Like, that's probably why my dad is black, like, because she's always with black dudes. Like, it don't even make sense.
So what's she with now?
So herself.
Okay.
Herself.
And does she feel, did you have a talk with her and say, Mom, you really screwed me up, you know what I'm saying? Or she's in sorry son or anything? Or,
Yes.
Or she kind of like push it under the rug like?
It's a mixture of all of it.
Okay.
It's where I just have to
Let it go.
deal with it and let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you never had any interaction with your pops?
At all.
So he probably don't even know you was alive?
From what I was told, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I want to find them, but then, you know, not the grass ain't always greener. So, you know, I
Damn sure ain't.
I don't want to. I don't want to meet him and be more hurt.
Right.
So it's kind of another, like, it is what it is. You feel me?
Mm.
But I want to meet him because there's things about me that I know is not my mom and my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to learn, like, why do I do music? Why do I do certain things? Even health wise, that's another part. I want to know what's going on that side of the family because of my own personal health. You know.
What's wrong with your health?
I don't know. I'm too scared to go to the doctor.
Oh, okay.
But it's time though. There's been some certain things that's been going on, like where I get kind of scared. You know.
And usually, because I was a drug counselor for 18 years. Usually, when you get clean, about in the 5 to 10 year range is when funny stuff starts happening. Like, most addicts die. Most addicts have these illnesses that, are related from all the years and years of smoking or drinking or, so, I mean, it would be good just to go get a checkup, but it's not something that you got to, you stress yourself out about. But, around 40, yeah, you should be getting a checkup.
Yeah, I'm about to go do that 40, what they say it's supposed to be 50 or was 40 now, but my,
prostate?
Yeah, all that.
Okay.
And, was that a colonoscopy?
Colonoscopy, yeah, you got to get all that done.
I had a friend that actually died from prostate cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And that was an eye-opener to me, like, damn. Like,
yeah.
How do you even, you know what I'm saying? Like, a cold and certain things.
Well,
like,
because they sat on it too long, and they knew they had it, but they sat on it too long.
And that's my fear, is I fight pain.
Because when you got prostate stuff, you got prostate stuff. There's weird stuff going on. And you sit on it too long, yeah, you're going to die.
And mine has been like little stomach, like weird stomach, you know what I'm saying? So
and then you weren't eating right for how many years?
A long time.
Yeah, so
A long time.
But let's get into some happier times now. So what's the most happiest time in your life?
My son, my new son being born.
What about the other sons?
My son and my daughters is the same thing, but this is different for me because
you're clean.
I'm a new man.
Oh, okay.
I'm a new man, and I feel, I don't know if it's the right way to say it, but I feel God's giving me
a second chance
to do the right thing.
Well, you tried to kill yourself 3 times, so how many more chances are you gonna get?
And I almost died when I got crushed in between 2 cars. So
okay, so yeah, you batting 100 right now. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's selfish because it's more for it. Like you said, the happiest time of my life, I think it's more for me because I feel I get this new chance,
I don't think that's selfish. I think it's, what you feel in your heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking hard questions.
No, you're over there.
Okay, so what was your most traumatic time in your life? Like, oh my God, this is bad.
The whole time I was on drugs.
Did you sleep on 5th Street?
Nah.
You never slept on the street?
Never slept in the street. I always went home. But I was abusive to my wife. Verbally, mentally abusive to my children. Stealing from my family. So all that was the most.
And then why'd you go to prison or jail?
To jail.
Possessions?
Nah, nothing drug related at all. I never went to jail. It was all because I was in the streets, man, and we used to steal cars. I used to steal Mustangs.
Okay.
And we used to steal clothes from the mall, and we used to sell them like at high schools to kids and stuff.
Okay.
And so it was all stuff like that.
If there was someone who has perished in your life that's no longer here, but you wish they were here to see you now, who would it be?
My grandma.
Grandma.
Which is actually my sister's grandma, but she always took me in from the start as her own. So I call her my grandma. She's my grandma.
Okay.
She was actually my grandma before she was my sister's grandma. So.
Okay.
And
what happened to her? Just old age?
She just recently passed away a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from old age.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't able to be around her because of the coronavirus. So all I did was I got a phone call saying that she had passed. But she was the only, my mom was there for me, but my grandma was there for me when my mom wasn't there for me. And through all the times of my hard times through drugs, through us living on Skid Row, living from garages and stuff like that. My grandma always was there to bring me and my family food, blankets, appliances, like to be able to cook, a George Foreman grill so we could cook. She always made sure that I was taken care of, and my family was taken care of.
So now you always got your wife. You bring her on the online, and you showing her that, hey, everybody, this is my wife, and she'd be looking annoyed, like, oh, why you gotta keep me on this platform?
She's downstairs in the car too. You better be watching.
And I didn't see her. Why do you love your wife?
Why do I love my wife?
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever loved me the way she's loved me. Nobody's ever, just period. She shouldn't be here. And there's a big reason why she's here. There's a big reason why I'm still alive and why I have what I have. And it's her. So to give you a flat out answer, a simple answer of why I love her, is not that simple. As far as a word or
is she the only family that you really felt that you ever had?
Yeah. When I didn't have my mom, I had my wife. When I didn't have, when I don't have my kids, I have my wife. My wife has always been there for me, for everything.
And you didn't know your father. You didn't know, you didn't know if you were black or if you were white. You was on some Michael Jackson shit. And your wife was like your only stable thing. But why was you abusing her? Is it because of the lifestyle that you had or the lifestyle that you knew?
When I started doing the drugs, that definitely didn't help when the anger really kicked in, and stuff like that. And a lot of it was just not wanting to admit the wrongs I was doing. So it was just easier to put the pain on her, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, your closest person is the one that you always put everything on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, now you're making amends, you're doing all the right things. Let's say, knock on wood, something happens to her and she dies tomorrow. Where are you at?
I'm lost. I'm lost. She keeps me sane. She keeps me, she does a lot. I'll probably be lost. We were playing around the other day, and we had discussed, it wasn't a discussion, we were just playing around talking shit to each other. And she said something about, like, oh, when I'm gone. And I told her, I'll be alone. Like, and if I am, I'm going to probably be an asshole to every woman, like, after you, like, because it's not you. Like I just don't see my life after her anymore. It's weird. I guess like they say, like, when there's that old couple, and then we've been together for a long time, so it's not like we got 2 years in.
Yeah, so it's like when the old couple dies, the other one dies right behind it.
That's the discussion I always tell you. Like, I probably won't go far after if you leave. But I got the kids, so that's a.
And you're gonna have grandkids.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. So.
And that's a whole new fatherhood in itself.
Man.
But it's still not without mama, ironing and cooking and all the stuff that mama does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for real.
So I get you. So how have you been making it up to her for all the stuff that you did? Because women never forget.
I think just being that that man that society says we should be, working, building a household, getting a house.
You didn't grow up in that kind of household, did you?
Nah, not at all. So this whole thing has been a learning process on my own.
I figure, yeah.
I never.
Your kids don't understand that.
Nah.
And they're going to go through their trauma too in their relationship because of the way their childhood was.
And that's why my daughter left.
Right.
One day I had to look in the mirror and let this mirror talk to me, and I asked her, what is it that I really did to you that made us where we are? And I got this long ass thing that probably told her she couldn't type no more. That opened my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, all you can do, because you can't beat yourself up over it because it'll kill you. All you can do is just keep doing good and give her time and she'll come around because they always want their father and their mother, especially if they're doing good.
Right.
So maybe she's just got to see you doing good longer. Who knows? You know?
She gives out little things here and there where I see exactly what you just said. She's doing good. She wants me to see her doing good. The other day she bought a Christmas tree and she's like, I want you to see the Christmas tree in her new apartment. Like that's big to her, but that was big to us as a family. When I finally got us our first apartment, we didn't have no couches. We were sleeping on the floor, but I got a Christmas tree.
It's, you know, Christmas and Thanksgiving seem to be the hardest time of the year for people.
It's a
and
real
it's
hard
the
one
highest,
for my mom too.
And it's the highest suicide time, right around that time.
See, that's funny. It's not funny, but it's great that you said that because growing up, my mom always cried on Thanksgiving. She always cried on Christmas, and I never.
Because
really
it's supposed to be
understood.
about family and
we
being
didn't have
together
family, yeah.
and hanging out with your friends. And, you know, I was always a loner or I was always in the sales. So to me, I blocked that out. You know,
Yeah.
when you're a G from the street, you handle it two ways. You either bitch up or you gangster up.
Yeah.
And when you gangster up, you got to shut all emotions
All
off. You know what I'm
emotions
saying?
off.
So when you get out into the real world, you're still in gangster mode. And people ain't feeling you because they're like, what's wrong with that fool?
Yeah.
But it's like you always protecting your heart, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And sometimes you gotta let that guard down and just like feel life, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know,
It's that Dr. Jekyll, Mr.
Hyde. That's the only way you can get through this world. You gotta have two sides, not one, you know?
Definitely.
The thing is, how do you transition? And some people
Or when to.
and some people get stuck in transition,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But,
I always tell people when they see me or like when I'm at work, if someone calls me and I'm dealing with someone, hey, you sound like a white boy. Well, I'm at work, fool. Like I can't be talking to my coworkers and my bosses and CEOs the same way I'm talking to you.
right, and
like,
some people forget that, and they bring whatever they bring everything to the table. And if you're not a chameleon in this world, you ain't gonna make it. You got to fit in where you get in. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm, you know, if I go to church and I'm like, God damn, you know, give me a cigarette. You know, everybody going to church gonna be like, oh, please save that boy. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. It's funny because I was going to church for a good minute the last few years of my wife, and I told her like, I don't feel right. Why don't you feel right? I said because every time we leave church, I go out and I drink a beer and I smoke a blunt. Like that don't even make no sense. Like, isn't that?
I used to carry guns to church. I used to be in church with my 380. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I was banging, you know what I'm saying? I'll be right up in church with the 380. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you live and you learn. Now, at the end of this conversation, those people are going to say, well, what the hell was the meaning of this conversation? Okay, so you was an addict. You got clean. You're getting your family back together and, you know, everybody's doing good. What's the moral of the story that you want to say to an addict that's dying right now, feeling shitty, out in the street right now? It's cold. They ain't got no shoes. There's no teeth. It's, you know, just standing out there looking retarded. What can you say to them to give them some hope?
If you, and it's gonna sound, I don't know if the word's cliche or whatever, but if you really want it, you can do it, and you don't need to think that you need people to get you through it. You really gotta just believe in you gotta believe that you want it, and you can really do it, man. Like getting off like I'm trying to get off of Coca-Cola, and I can't get off a damn Coca-Cola, but I got off of meth. Like it's, you know, and it's because I really don't want to get off Coke. I like drinking a Coke every day. And then you could do
Well, you
it.
know, once you're in it, and you have an addictive personality, so
Yeah.
the Coke is just your new
The new addiction.
addiction.
Yeah.
Until something doctor tells you if you drink one more Coke you're gonna die, then you'll stop drinking Cokes.
Yeah. What I want people to know is that there is another life after fucking up. There is. It's a lot of work that goes behind it. It took a lot of work to fuck it up, and it's gonna take double, triple, quadruple to get out of it. You know, we came from Skid Row, and now I'm buying a house.
Facts.
That's something major, you know, and I didn't really push it to the world yet because I wanted to give it to them in that manner of like, look, I really came from Skid Row, and now look, we got a house. Like, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. You just gotta really want it, and you gotta stay focused. You gotta know what you really want.
The reason why this man is on here is because he's a G. I'm a G. We're all former Gs, and we're up in here in Beverly Hills and Century City, up in this nice old power building with all these white people and lawyers and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They was looking at me downstairs like, who this fool out here in the...
Well, you know what? They know it was from me because I'm the only one. There's only 5 black people in here, and 4 of them work as security.
That's
so
funny.
with that being, and that is not an exaggeration. So with that being said, it just shows you that you can do what you want to do in America if you want to do it.
If you want to.
There's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? The excuse is me messing up.
That's
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
That's it. Like, people say, oh man, such and such put me in jail. Nah, for you put yourself in jail. Like, you was doing shit that put yourself in whatever position that you was doing. That's a conversation to try to have with
You know, there
your
was
son.
the thing, the man held me back.
Nah.
I held myself back. I got held back by more black people than any police, any white person ever in my life.
So you look at that.
I got held back. And when we say that on the internet, you get the backlash like, man, that's bull, you Uncle Tom, you.
Yeah. Me, I can't say nothing. Because then it's like, I got some dude, oh, you only half black. You can't speak up. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm fucking...
Well, sorry, half black don't get in the KKK. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just a nigger to them people. You know what I'm saying? And he was a nigger for the whole time and didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, they can take that to the
That's
bank.
real talk. I hope you listen to that one.
Yeah, listen to that. Yeah, you hater. You heard it first. Floh Presents, Dash Radio, iHeart, and all the above. You'll see it on YouTube, and we're out.